Hello everyone. So I thought I would take some time and read to you guys on YouTube so you guys can get used to what I use on Twitch. So I'm going to read a story called Car Keys that was uploaded on scaryforkids.com. A link will be in the description. This is not my story, so here we go. The Car Keys is a scary story about a girl and her father who get into a car crash one rainy night. One night, a father and his daughter were driving down to a deserted country road. They were returning home after spending an entire day visiting their girl's mother in the hospital. Listening to the sound of the rain drumming on the car roof, the girl began to doze off. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and the father struggled with the steering wheel. But the car skidded off the wet road and slammed into a stone wall. After checking his daughter was injured or not, the man got out of the car to survey the damage. Both front tires had large punctures. The right fender was crumpled against the wall. The rest of the car had survived unscratched. We must have driven over something on the road, he explained to his daughter. Whatever it was, it blew out both tires. Can you fix it right? Asked the daughter, somewhat shooken by the accident. No, replied the father, shaking his head. I've only got one spare in the boot. I'll have to go walk downtown and find someone to tow the car, he said. It isn't that far from here. You wait at the car while I'm gone. Okay, she said, reluctantly, but please don't take too long. The man could see that his daughter, in his daughter's eyes, that she was frightened. Sit still, replied the father as he slammed the door. I'll be back soon as possible. The daughter watched him in the rearview mirror and trotted off down the road in the pouring rain, disappeared in the night. More than an hour had passed, and her father had returned. She began to wonder what was taking him so long. She was very worried because he hadn't been back by now. Just then, she glanced over at the rearview mirror and saw a figure in the distance, walking towards the car. At first, she thought it was her father, but when she turned around to take a closer look, she realized that it was a strange man. He was dressed in overalls and had a big, bushy beard. He was carrying something large in his left hand and swinging it back and forth. Something about him made her very nervous. As he approached, she stared out the back window and squinted her eyes. In the dim light, she could make out what was clenched in his right hand. It was a big, sharp butcher's knife. Thinking quickly, the terrified girl locked both doors in the front car, then jumped into the back seat and locked the rear doors. When she looked up again, she saw the strange man had stopped in his tracks and seemed to be staring directly at her. Suddenly, the man raised his arm, and the girl let out a blood-curdling scream. In his left hand, he was clenching the father's severed head. She just kept screaming and screaming. She couldn't stop herself. Her heart was pounding, and she was struggling to breathe. The clenched expression on her father's face, as horrifying to behold. His mouth was hanging open, and his eyes were rolled in the back of his head. When the man reached the car, he shoved his face right up against the window and glowed at her with his crazed, bloodshot eyes. His hair was wild, matted with dirt, his face covered in deep scars. For a moment, she just stood there in the driven rain, grinning at her. Oh, he stood in the driving rain. Sorry, guys. Grinning at her like a madman. Then he reached out into his pocket, took something out, and slowly lifted the left hand. He was holding the father's car keys. So that was Car Keys. And of course, like I said, I'll be leaving a link to everything down in the description. So that was just a short video I thought I'd make for you guys where I read on here. So that way if you guys ever miss me on Twitch or anywhere else, you guys can hear me on here. I'll be doing short segment stories every now and again just to make YouTube content. So I hope to see you guys on my Twitch. And if you're not already, subscribe, like, and follow for more, obviously. Goodbye!